just be a scrap paper. Brilliant. Who knows my name? What's it?
Is it Emma?
It's, yeah, so I'll do duck hands. I know it sounds silly with duck hands, but it actually really helps the brain. Emma. Who thinks they can spell Emma?
Straight up and down.
Write it on your thing.
Right down the middle. Or with the hand from side to side, like in
Well, you can have a go.
However you think. Because I'm going to show you a trick in a minute about how to... Oh, you left-handed the same as me. Oh, wow, all the best people are left-handed. Sorry for you guys. Okay.
Yeah, Oliver.
Fantastic. Brilliant. Do you know, I'm going to just sit down for a second because I feel a lot taller than you guys. Now, so I am Emma. A lot of people call me Miss Emma, but I'll let you call me Emma if you want. Now, one of the things that I do... Well, what do I do? Who knows what I do? Why would I be here?
Help us do different learning.
Yeah. And what are you here for?
To learn.
To learn about what? Gymnastics?
To learn maths and English.
Maths and English, fantastic. So is that because maths and English aren't your favourite? What about reading and spelling? Are they not your favourite things?
I like reading and spelling.
I don't really like reading.
You don't really like reading and spelling. Well, do you know, I work with a lot of people who don't really like reading and spelling. And do you know why they don't really like reading and spelling?
Why?
What do you think?
Because they're always hard work.
Because it's so hard. Because it's their brains go, oh, because it's so much to think about all the time. And even when you're reading the book, even if there's only a couple of words on there, it's taking so long to read it. It's just like, oh my goodness me, can I go out and do something else? What's your favourite thing to do in the world?
Maths.
Maths? Oh, what's your favourite thing? Anything at all? What do you do at home?
Working.
Oh, fantastic. What do you do? Plan the experts or?
I like to collect.
Do you? Yeah. Wow, what do you like to collect or play connect?
No, I just like to collect.
Do you? Like what? What kind of things?
Like, you know those little, you know the packs?
Oh yeah.
That's what I like to collect.
I like collecting things as well. What about you? What do you do? What's your favourite thing to do really? I'm sure when you're at home you're not doing maths all day. Oh, do you play soccer? Oh, my son plays soccer and he's actually fast asleep in the car because you know straight after this we have to go to the soccer fields and play soccer. So one of the things that I do is I used to have to teach people who were about 15, 16, 17 and I used to have to teach them to read and spell because you know they couldn't read and spell at all, not even a little bit, and they couldn't even go to school because they were really, really naughty. So I had to teach them to read and spell. So I have created something that's a really, really easy way. Yeah, so it's what I'm going to do is show the teachers some easy tricks to help you read and spell, okay? Now, one of the things that we have to do, and it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter whether you were 18 or whether you're 6, it doesn't matter. One of the things we have to do is learn to count speech sounds. Who's ever done that before?
No, I haven't done that.
Have you never done that before? Oh, we're going to do that right now. What I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to see how good your listening is. So I might just read. What's your name again?
Guy.
I did that somewhere too.
Have you been doing that as well? Wow. Now, one of the things we're going to do, I'm going to read one page, and I'm going to see how good you are at listening. So, I am going to... Oh, if you hear this sound, okay, I want you to count them in your head. So it doesn't matter what it means, I just want you to count the sound, and the sound is going to be Okay, so that's just the sound. Don't worry about letter names or whatever, just think about the sound. So if I went give me a word that's got in it. What do we have in the rain? Umbrella. Oh, it does sound a bit like that, doesn't it? If we've got an umbrella in the rain, where's the in umbrella? Is it the beginning or the end?
I think it's the beginning.
Do you think it is? Let's have a look. Umbrella. So if we have this side, and I actually play speech and piano sometimes, so I start on this side, so just so that my brain can work out where's the first sound, where's the last one. So I'll go umbrella, so it's at the beginning. So you're listening for the okay? Let's see if we can count how many there are. Wait till my bigger brother comes. He is both fat and tall. Did anyone hear any in there? What did you hear, Tim?
Bigger.
Big fantastic. Big so that's one. Hold on. Don't play it. I'm going to say it again. Wait till my big brother comes. Could you hear somewhere?
Yeah, in comes.
Yes! comes. Well done. Where else? Oh, goodness, I knew you'd be so clever. What else?
Brother.
I heard it twice in that one. Fantastic. So you can all hear the sounds, can't you?
Yeah.
What about if I was to give you a word and you would have to count the speech sounds? Pretend you've got a duck hand. I know it's silly, but duck hand. Show me a duck hand. Duck hand. Quack, 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 quack. Okay, now we're going to do a duck hand for the sound. So if I gave you the word, let's give you an easy word, sat. Well, it's not necessarily an easy word, but sat. How many would there be? At. Now do me 3 lines. So I want you to do the 3 lines as you're saying at. Fantastic. And that is spelling with speech sounds, and we're not going to worry about at all about the letters. Now this time, can you spell with duck hands first and then the lines? Shout. What would you hear with the duck hands first? Shout. What do you think? And there's no right or wrong. What do you think? What's the first one? Hold on. Duck hands first. What are they? Shh. Ow. Fantastic. Now do me 3 lines. Shh. Out. And say the sounds as you're doing it. So shh. Out. Just do it again this time. Say the sounds as you're doing it. Shh. Out. Fantastic. Oh, well done. What about shh? How many lines have we got? 3? Shh. Out. Fantastic. What about out? What about out? Do duck hands first. How many do you think? Out. Just out. I'm going out to play.
I think it's only 2.
What do you think it might be?
I think it's 2.
Sound. So what's the first one? That's right. Now, instead of doing shout, this time we're just going to do out. So I went out. What would it be?
2?
Yes. Out. So do me 2 lines and say the sounds at the same time. Out. Fantastic. Now, you know, next time when you do the lines, what I'd like you to do is start on that side and go that way. Because you know how you do your lines, and the lines are perfect. But when you go that way, your brain's going that way. Yeah? So we're going to go this way, starting from the left. So, out. Yeah? Perfect. Okay, one more. I'm going to be tricky. What about... I would like some sweets, so would. Would. What do you think it might be?
What?
Who thinks? Everyone think that? Would. So now do the 3 lines. Would. Now, if you can hear the speech, see, you'd go that way as well. So what I want you to practice as well is going that way. So we're going that way all the time with your lines. Yeah, because again, it helps your brain. And it sounds funny, but everything I do is about the brain. It helps your brain go that way instead of that way. Okay? So let's just do, which was the one we just did? What did we do?
I forgot.
Was it would?
Would.
Fantastic. Was it would? Yes.
Yeah.
So do would, and this time do the lines that way for me. Would.
Just go that way.
Go that way. Would. Perfect. And that'll help your brain. So, you know, with spelling, you know, if I was to tell you that if you can do that and you can hear those sounds, then spelling is going to be a lot easier, would you believe me?
No, I don't know.
Well, do you know if it is? Because if we learn how to count those sounds, like you did duck hands and the lines, then what have we got to do now? If we know how many there are, what do we have to do now? So supposing it was, what word did we have? Was it would? I would go to the shops, yeah? Because that's actually quite a difficult word. So if we know it's would, and I'm going to write on the board now. So if we know would, now all we've got to work out is which of the pictures for those sounds. That's why I call them speech sound pics. They're just pictures of speech sounds. And I'm going to put 1, 2, 3 there just so that I make sure I go that way. So what would we have? We need there a picture of what? For would. What might it be? Give me what it might be.
W.
Yeah, that's his letter name. So it might be that one for would. Are there any other ones for would? Well, let's leave that for now because that is the right one. So would. Do me the last one first. Do me the last one. Duh. What might it be for duh? What do you think it might be for duh? Would. What's going to sit on that line?
D.
Let's try. Now, it could actually be some other ones. Who thinks they know what there could be in there?
Double O.
Oh, it could be. Fantastic, because that is a picture for O. So, would. Does anyone know any other pictures for O?
O W. Don't you remember you came here and then you put the little eyes?
I did for the O. Yes, I did. Well remembered. And that was because you remember when we looked at that and we did so we did that for O.
Well done.
So we go would or would, wouldn't it? Would. So it isn't like that. Well remembered. Now what I would tell you is, on this word that we actually talked about there, this is a picture for or. Who's ever seen that as a picture for or? Have you seen that? Yeah. So if that's that picture for or, and that's the same picture in could, can you please now write me could? With that picture for or. So k or d. So do me the 3 lines first. K or d. K or d. This time it won't be a word, it'll be k. K or d. So you've got your 3 lines, and now do me which k you think is going to go on there. Which k do you think it might be? Could. Which k do you think it might be?
C.
What do you think?
C.
It might be. So let's put that on there. And do you know what we'd do? We'd actually get the dictionary out. We'd have a little look and see if it's the king. I call it the king way because the king, I have a little king, and he knows the whole of the English language, so he's kind of eaten the dictionary. So, k or d. What about if I wanted to change that into should?
SH.
Why do you know that? How do you know that?
Because it's H.
And it's an H. Brilliant! And all we need to do is learn all these pictures. And do you know the problem at school? Is often they don't teach you them all. So, these are all pictures of a sound. Some of them might be more than one. What do you think they might be a picture of? They're pictures of a speech sound. What do you think it might be? Oh, thank you. What do you think it might be? Who do you think they might all be a picture of? I'm going to give you a word. Let's have a look. One of the words might be... Who knows what that word is?
I found that word.
Boat! Well done! So if you know what that word is, and have a look. So now let's tell me. What's this a picture of?
It's a O.
Fantastic! It's a picture of O! Well done! Let's have a look at the back. What does it say?
Boat.
Goat in a boat. So that is. And that's another one, and that's something called a speech sandwich, which I've talked about now. I know. And then on the back there, what do you think this one is then, if this is an O in this one?
Blow the snow.
It says blow the snow. It does, absolutely. But on its own, it's sometimes difficult to know what it is, isn't it? But what we need to do is we need to learn all of the variations, all the way to do the speech sounds. And who's seen the speech sound clouds? Do you know if there are any more O's? How else could I do O?
For that one.
Well, this
one, there's cow.
yes, so if it's a O, so if here it's a picture of O, is that the right one? Is it a co? Or is it a cow? So we've learnt something. Is that a co or a cow?
Cow.
So sometimes, and this is what we do when we discover, so this is O, but it could also be
Ow.
ow! And these are all the things that often, if you don't do in prep in year 1 and year 2, then your brain starts, and then you have to learn all these rules and whatever. So a lot of what we'll be doing is a lot of discovering, so this all makes a lot more sense. Okay? Now on the O sound, how many do you think there are? How many pictures? If we were to do, can you draw a cloud? Draw me a cloud, because we're going to do a speech sound cloud. Oh, yes, sir. Oh, it's hiding. So if we were to... Try not to wreck the place. Okay, so if we did a cloud, and we said that this is a cloud for the speech sound O, so we won't put O on the outside because it could be any of them. We might choose a picture to remind us. What might we put there to remind us O?
Or W.
Well, that's a sound pic, that's right. But let's just do an actual illustration to remind us that this is the cloud for all the things in there are going to be an O.
Oh, A.
What about snow? Could we do snow?
Snow.
What can I draw for snow? Perhaps a snowman. So I might do something, anything at all, it doesn't matter, just to remind us. What do you have a characteristic for his nose? I bet you don't get much snow here, do you? Okay, so that's to remind us, oh, I remember, all of the ones in here are pictures of O. So we know, there's a clue there. There's one, oops, did not look a very good O. O, and we've got, where's another one? O, and we've got this one that I will show you another time.
Or E.
O, so anyone know any others?
Oh.
And I just said, I know.
No.
O. Oh, got that one. Well done. Are there any that we haven't got in here? What about no, you can't? Well, who can hear the O in no, you can't? So what would it? Yes! Brilliant! So we've got 4 there. Any more? Do you know what I would do? I would think, oh, what are they all? So every time I've got to spell a word that's got an O in it, an O sound, not the letter name, I would look at my clouds. Now there's actually a cloud down here that's got all of the O's in. How many O's do you think there are? Can you see?
8.
Lots and lots on there.
Yes. There's double O. Yes, there's double O.
So oh, hold on, we've got, I need a magnifying glass. We've got, oh, though, the O. So what would that be? The O. What would the O be in though? If I told you this is the word, though, where's the picture for O in that one?
O-U.
Yes! So that one would go in there as well. Yeah? Now, because if we start to be able to use these, and I'm going to try and create little ones that you can all have so you can have easy access to them, what I want you to do when you're spelling is do that. So you think of how many sounds are there, draw the lines, and then just work out what they are. And then your teacher might write you the right one, the king one, and you have a look at it. And that's when you write, because who's been doing spellings and you write it down like quite a few times?
Last year we used to write the boxes.
Right.
So it used to help us.
Oh, okay. And then did you have to write a lot of times? No. Like 5 times or something?
Once. We have to, if we get a word wrong, we have to write it 10 times.
Wow. You see, if you do all this first and you listen for it, and then you work out what it could be, and then you write it out, that helps the brain a lot more, okay? And what I want you to do as well is every now and again your teacher might just stop what you're doing, this wonderful work here, and you might just choose a book like Brother. Write down brother for me. Here, I'll give it you. Here it is. Find the word brother. Sorry, I'm folding the book out. Find the word brother. You see it? Well done. Now copy it down for me. Brother. Wait till my bigger brother comes. He will. That's it. So write down brother. Brother. Have you written brother down? Fantastic. And so what you do is you write the words down. Brother. Fantastic. Oh, brilliant. And the at the end. That's it. So you write down the word and then you work out, well, where are the speech sounds? Where's the speech sounds when I'm saying brother? What can you hear in brother? The, the, or brother, I think I heard an at the end. So now on brother, we might need to write it out a little bit bigger.
It's supposed to be getting dark. It's getting dark. That's weird.
What was that?
Oh, sorry. I'm one of those naughty children.
Oh! Should we send it to the back? Should we put it in the corner? Get out the ruler and smack over the wrist? You should do that, you know. Let's write, I'm going to write brother in big. Do you mind if I write on your book? I write on pencil so it doesn't go all the way through. So I'm going to write it quite big, so...
Do it on all of us?
Yeah, so write it out nice and big like that. Sorry, you just watch for a second. So we've got brother. So think about how we said it. So now let's do the lines underneath to show where the sounds are. So where would it go? Where would the lines go for brother? Do you think? What's the first sound bit that we heard? Yeah, so there's the picture for the b in there. Now you said brr there. Now this is a really important rule. What's this a picture of? Oh, can't do it upside down. Hold on. What's that a picture of?
S.
I know it's S, that's his name, but what's it a picture of? The sound? It's one of the pictures for S, isn't it? What's this one of the pictures for?
Huh?
That's that, and that's his name, isn't it? We have to think, what's this a speech sound? It's a picture of a speech sound. So we've got the S and the H. If we put them together, is it still S?
No.
No, what is it now? Shh. Fantastic. So we've got 1, 2, 3 pictures of speech sounds. We've got S, and we've got H, and we've got sh. What about if I give you this one? I hope it's all around. What's this one?
F.
And what's this one? Oops. Now if I put a f and a together, is it completely different or is it just blended together? Is it still
Yeah.
It is, isn't it? It's not completely different, is it? So even though we say frog, when we're spelling, one of the most important rules is, if they're just blended together, then we count them separately. So brother, even though you say brother, we're going to count them for spelling as b-r-a-z-er. So let me put the lines underneath. B-r-a-z-er. What's important about there? What have you learned about that one? Brother.
It's they're together because they go.
That's true.
It is, isn't it? It doesn't go et, it's now so that's another sound pick. But also, what do you hear there? You heard Who's ever looked at that before and thought that's Or do you just look at, have you just looked at, or have you just looked at that one before for Yeah, that's But that's not as well, isn't it? But so we need to listen to what we're saying. You guys have concentrated so hard. So what we're going to be, one of the things that we're going to be doing is just to make reading and spelling easier, is to be able to do this and then find out what the sound picks are. So you might investigate some words with different A's, or like play or rain or cake or tray. Yes, absolutely. You might investigate different ones where that sound pick, and then sometimes just choose a random word and just work out, well, where are those sound picks? Because even though I know that sounds like, well, why do we need to do that? Because we need to do all our schoolwork. That will actually help. Do you know what happens in your brain when you do that? Do you know what happens? Well, do you know at the moment when you find things difficult, do you know there's one little bit in your brain that's going and it's working so hard. So by doing things like this, it makes lots of things work, and it actually makes it easier for the brain. Because the brain can think, and you'll make more sense of it. So even though this sounds really little, it will really help your brain and the understanding. Yeah? Because you know when you're reading a book, you know if it's taking so long to read it, can you understand it as well?
Yeah.
Can you really? Because I can't. If something's really difficult and I give teachers a really difficult bit of text and say, right, now tell me what it means, they go, I don't know. Because they were taking so long to have to read it. And it's just the same with you guys. Yeah? So I want everything really, really fast, and this will really, really help you. Now, just so you know, and I'm going to leave these just to put them on the wall. It doesn't really matter if it's for the teachers to see. What we would normally do if you were little ones and starting right from the beginning is we would start at this level on the green, and then we would go on purple, and then we would go on yellow.
And there's little cards as well.
Yes, that's right. And then we would go on blue, and look at all the clouds that are showing there. So what your teachers are going to look at is also to think, well, where do they know this? Because you know the whole of the English language, everything we say and everything we write and everything we spell, do you know how many pictures there are for the speech sounds? Altogether in the whole of the English language. That's everything. If you were to swallow the dictionary and be able to spell every single word, do you know how many pictures there are in speech sounds?
6,000.
There's about 150. That's it. And there's 70 of them there. So if you learn these ones, and it looks like there's lots more, but that's actually, if you look at all this. But if you learn 150 of the sound picks, you'll be able to do the whole English language. Nothing will ever be too difficult. What do you think about that? Oh, I think that would be fantastic. Now, you've done so well because I've actually been sitting around rambling on for the last 20 minutes or so. So I'm going to put these on the wall so you can have a little look at them. That is what you've got on the cards. That's what I want to make sure you all do know really quickly. So if I was to go, what's this a picture of on here? Ow, and it could be ow as in cow, or
Toe.
O as in toe. I know what you should be doing, really, really quick. So even if you spend a couple of minutes in them, do it in the car or whatever, so you can go, what's that one? Ooh, or ooh, A, O, A, or it could be I. If you practice doing them really, really fast, it will really, really help. So you can Kirsty can photograph some of those. That's all the speech and class, although do you know some people keep finding the new ones, so I keep having to update it. It's because of the English language. But these are the speech and class you can have a little look at. So like, what's this one? It's like ring. So that shows two different ones. Yeah, so I'm going to leave these to put them on the wall. Has that been helpful?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll learn it. Really what I'm trying to do is give some ideas for the teachers, because often they haven't had all this lots and lots of new ideas. Yeah, so it just helps them to help you a little bit more. Yeah, thank you so much. Have you got, and I want you to get these. Have you seen these?
No.
They go on if I was to go on a desert island or in the middle of deepest, darkest Africa with no electricity, children can't speak English, and I've got nothing, I've got a budget of $20, there's this one and a green packet, and if I had the green packet and this, I could teach any child to read, because as long as you've got the knowledge, it's got everything in there to teach. That's what, when we look at those, that's, they've got those, it's got everything in it. Yeah, so these, I'll try and send it to Kirsty, because I think if your parents could get you one each, they're about $7, $8, something like that, $10 at the most. Yeah, so this would be invaluable, because there's so many things, and I'll show you teachers what you could do with them, just to help you really understand the code. So when you look at a word, you don't have to think, I don't know it. Your brain can think, I know that speech sound, and your brain can go a lot quicker. Yeah, because that's what reading and spelling is.
Another quick, like, you don't know the word, and then let's skip on. You can't keep on reading, and then you might have a clue what's the word.
You might, and do you know But do you know what's difficult about that? You know, if you don't, if all of the text is quite easy and you can scan and you can do that, then you can do that. But if the text is quite difficult, then leaving the word out isn't going to help you go back and learn it. Yeah, so that is something that a lot of people say, but sometimes that doesn't really help because you'll have forgotten what you read at the beginning bit. Yeah, so I want to give other tricks, so you can try that, and if that works for you, that's brilliant. But I want to give lots of other tricks that will help you. Yeah, so even like the things that you do read, if we can make sure that you can read it quickly, then you can understand it. Yeah, when you're actually reading, have you got a reading book at school at the moment?
Yeah. Yes.
What have you got?
Science.
Have you got them with you?
I got.
Have you got it with you? Can I have a look? Oh, fantastic. Oh, have a look. I just brought this because it's the first one I could bring, and I thought, which one? Because that's what I do sometimes. I read it out and people have just got to listen to the speech sound. It's not what it's about. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, sticky stuff. Oh my goodness, is this exciting? And you get to choose them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. So what's happening in this story? Have you started it already? Yeah. So when you're reading this, tell me what your brain does. Tell me what you do. Do you read it and you understand? And if I was to cover that up, can you see in your mind what's happening, or not?
Not really.
Have you got a moustache? Right. Just close your eyes. Close your eyes, and I'm going to read to you, and I want you to tell me what you see in your mind. Sophie set off happily for school one morning. She was winking at the sunbeams and smiling at the birds when suddenly... So what did you see? Tell me what you saw. And you're all going to see something different, but tell me what you saw.
I saw nothing.
Nothing at all.
Black.
What did you see? Just black, completely black?
The same picture as that.
Oh, because you'd seen the picture already. Is there any
The
bits?
whole book.
Have you read the whole book already? See, sometimes I say to people, cover that up, because what we want to do, if you can't read it without looking at the picture, then we need to practice, we need to learn more about the reading. So I will cover the picture and I'll read it and say, what do you think about? What can you visualise? Yes? Because we need you to be able to visualise it.
I saw somebody walking.
Oh, you did? Wow, I'm going to read it again. Now close your eyes, and when I read it, I want you to think, I want you to try and imagine what's happening. Ready? Sophie set off happily for school one morning. She was winking at the sunbeams and smiling at the birds when suddenly... ... So what did you see this time?
A big sign poking out and smiling at the birds and looking.
Fantastic. And you got the birds as well. There were birds there. What did you see? Or was your brain too tired already? Was your brain too tired? You can tell me. Were you not? Did you switch off for a minute? Yeah, that's okay. What did you see?
I saw girl walking and sticky stuff.
Because you were looking at something, weren't you?
Yeah.
Because one of the big things we do, if we don't teach reading it quickly so that they can decode quickly enough that it's fluent, so that they're going fast, is that they lose that visual imagery. So they have to rely on pictures and things they can see. And in this world that we're living in, everything is visual. There's very little really that is up to their imaginations. So what I would do as well when I'm reading is, even before they've seen any pictures or the front, is actually read it, what can you see? And then start to, well, what what's it smell like? What does it feel like? What does it, like the same as when we're reading a book. When we're reading a book, we see it, where it becomes alive. So, and what we also do in the early stages is we get them to look at the pictures and things, and again that detracts from the comprehension because they're relying on not the text, and the text is what's important. Like with us, we don't need pictures, we just need the text there because we can have that. Whereas I would imagine that some children who have difficulties won't see anything, absolutely won't, so they're not going to comprehend. And even if you read it to them, they might learn to do it. It's a different part of the brain, but they certainly won't read it, retain it, and be able to. So we've got to kind of bring it.
But there are some children that really need to look at pictures to make sense of the word.
What I'm going to do in the training is show you, that's something called whole language, and it's 3 cueing system, but that's based on the fact that we're not actually scaffolding the reading so they can actually read from the beginning. See, if we teach them scaffolding like this and give them readers that are based on the phonemes they're learning, They don't need the pictures because, okay, sat, the might be a helpful word, like the ant sat in a pan. So all we're doing is sat pin and a helpful word, but because the children quickly get to decode that really, really fast, then they can start to visualise it and understand the text, and we build it up. So then we've got another, and then the readers, if you use Dandelion or whatever, the readers scaffold all the way through, so they never need pictures, because they can actually read it for understanding. What we do if we do PM readers and things like that is we're giving them algebra before we taught them maths. So they have to guess from the picture because they can't read it. So we need to kind of rethink really what we're doing from the beginning, because that, what he was talking about with, leave it and go ahead and look at the first sound, what's going to happen, and what do you think from the picture? That's all based on the fact that, well, then they've got to read it, they can't read. So what we want to do is think, well, if they had no pictures, let's teach them to actually read with the print. So that the pictures, the illustrations are just fantastic, icing on the cake.
Yeah, I noticed that's what he does when he comes here. He obviously reads, leaves that word at school.
Yeah.
He doesn't never leave it here because always
the majority of schools here do that as a matter of course, but we know from the brain, the children who struggle, that will be detrimental because we're not giving them the chance to actually decode for fluency. Yeah. So there's never a chance where they can look at a word and they know it so easily that they can just read it and just go, oh, the ant sat on the pin. Yeah. They're still decoding all the time, and their brains can't quickly go ahead, and that's really what I want to show you guys and show how we can scaffold it and how we can go back if we need to.